Well, let's see here. I've been out blowing water lines today and got my irrigation kind of put away, put to bed for the winter. But last night I was out here until the wee hours of the morning, just kind of methodically just going through things and checking things off. What I did was I put a new set of plugs in, I put new plug wires on, I put a different coil on, a nice clean one that looks new and looks good, and I put a set of points in, and I actually just gapped them, you know, in the distributor there, and got them look like they're going to fire okay. There, I pushed against them, and they're popping and firing. And so, let's see, condenser, rotor, cap, and I pulled the can't see that. I pulled the number one plug out of the hole there, and I kicked this thing over until it blew my thumb off the hole, and I figured I was up on number one compression, and then I wired the cap according to that. And what is it, 153624 on an old Chevy 6-cylinder, I believe. Anyway, that's how I wired it, and ran her around there and put in a new battery and got that all hooked up. And let's see, I pulled the gas line off of that old tank because I know it is full of rust and mud and nasty old gas, rotten gas, and all that. So I pulled the line off of that, and I ran the hose from the fuel pump up here into a little can of clean gas, and I pulled this sediment bulb. This thing's got what you call a sediment bulb. It's like an old tractor would have. This old bowl here, this sediment bowl, my dad called it. You know, the sediment will, the dirt and stuff will settle in the bottom of that, and it's got a paper filter in there, and I kind of blew that out a little bit and washed that bowl and put some fresh gas in it. And I am about to prime the carburetor and get in there and kick this thing over, and just to see what happens. I don't have a clue if anything will, but this thing been sitting about, what I'm figuring, about 7 years at least. And it could be more than that, but I guess that would be considered a cold start. I don't really expect it to start, but well, I don't know. It's got all the makings of a start and running rig, so we'll see. The parts are all there. Let's see if anything happens. I'm gonna get in there and kick it over. Let's see. Contact. Switch on. Out of gear. Contact. Can you believe that? Ain't that something? Now, there you go, boys and girls. I guess that's what you call a cold start. You know, people talk about cold start all the time, and then they're going out and, you know, maybe pumping the gas a few times because the car hadn't been started for a few hours, and they call that cold, but that's really not the meaning of a cold start. A cold start really is a vehicle that's been sitting for a long time without any kind of maintenance or care whatsoever, and then just having it start up Now, I don't know if this would be considered a cold start because I have done some maintenance. I have put new plugs and points and wires and all that on there, but so that's not really a cold start either. But that's the first time that truck is fired in about, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 8 years. So call it what you want. But what's going on here is the gasoline was just dumping out of that carburetor, and I don't know if it showed up in the camera. I don't know if y'all could see that or not, but when I got out, that's what was going on. I could see it running down the back side. So the gaskets are all shot in that old carburetor, and chances are I have a kit over here on the shelf, and chances also are that I might have a carburetor that was fitted. So I don't know if this, here's a carb here, and I think this is off of a, you know what, that might work. That might be a good carburetor. So I'm thinking, though, the way that thing ran, oh, man, that sounded good. Didn't that sound good? That was nice. And I'm thinking that as good as it ran, if I had a decent carburetor on there, that old girl would just purr. So yeah, next step is, I think, is to get that carburation straightened out. Make sure I got some water in the radiator, and make sure that nothing's froze or busted. And I'm sure I had antifreeze in it, you know, when I parked it. But I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that gas tank. Got to have a fuel supply, so I either got to clean that tank up or put something else on there. And then once I get it running real good, I'll go ahead and start dealing with the brakes. I've got a bad master cylinder. It leaks by, and you can put fluid in it and pump it up, but I don't want to have to pump it up. I want brakes on it. So as cheap as they are, I think I'm just going to go buy a master cylinder, because I bought one for the Nash, I bought one for my hot rod, and they're just not that expensive, and then you got good brakes. So, well, that's enough for now anyway, y'all. You got to see the first start in about 6 or 8 years. I don't know, Tow Wrecker, would you call that a cold start? Alright, thanks.